Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Hey everybody, it's Jeff. Glad everybody's here. Hope you're having a good week. Yeah, it's been quite a hectic time here for me. I mean, a lot of things had come up, and then I got this little cold here that I've been trying to fight for the last 3 days. So yeah, it's been a lot. Also, it's been a lot politically. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, talk about a fucking presidency gone to shit. Never seen anything like this in my fucking lifetime. Never seen a White House so fucking rife with chaos and catastrophe. There's no fucking way anybody can compare the Biden administration to this, okay? All right, no fucking way. Christ, I mean, we had professionalism when we had Biden in there as president. We ain't got none of that right now, okay? Nobody involved in this regime of Trump's is got any fucking degree of professionalism in it, and it's scary, but it's not surprising because most of us knew what was going to happen if he got back in the White House. Unfortunately, most people didn't want to hear it, so that's that. And to illustrate here, or at least describe exactly why things are just falling apart, Lori Chavez DeRemer, the labor secretary, is stepping down amid allegations of professional misconduct, making her the third cabinet official to exit during Trump's second term. You know what I'm saying? When you put in incompetent people to do jobs, you get incompetent shit. I mean, that's really what you get, okay? White House Communications Director Stephen Chung announced Monday on Twitter that Chavez DeRemer would leave her role to enter the private sector, though he did not specify her next position. Well, I don't know what the hell, who's going to want to hire that idiot, so whatever. The controversy stems from a complaint filed with the Labor Department's Inspector General, first reported by the New York Post, accusing Chavez DeRemer of misconduct, including using taxpayer-funded trips for personal travel. The complaint led to the suspension of several senior aides and included sexual misconduct allegations involving her husband, Sean DeRemer. The allegations also include claims that Chavez DeRemer drank on the job in her Washington, D.C. office and had an affair with one of her bodyguards. Her resignation follows a New York Times report last week that she, along with top aides and family members, had sent personal messages to younger staffers, an issue currently under investigation by Labor Department Inspector General Anthony Desposito. The report also alleged that Chavez DeRemer and an aide asked staff to bring them wine during trips. This departure is the latest in a series of cabinet changes since Trump returned to office in January of last year. He previously dismissed Attorney General Pam Bondi and removed Kristi Noem as Homeland Security Secretary. Despite these shakeups, Trump has largely filled his second-term cabinet with loyalists, aiming to avoid the internal turmoil that marked his first administration. Well, isn't that the fucking reason why all this shit's happening? He's picking people who are loyalists. That's the fucking problem. Okay? You don't want someone that's going to kiss your ass no matter what. What you want is somebody that does the fucking job. They should be loyal to their job, not to the president. That's where Trump went wrong. That's the reason why all these people are getting involved in crap they shouldn't be doing, while they're breaking the rules, breaking the laws, for him. And they will get caught. They get caught. I mean, look, why do you think Pam Bondi left? Because she knew the axe of justice was coming down on her fucking neck. She knew this. She knew it. There was no point in staying. She didn't want to she didn't want to go through the turmoil, you know, of having all of her scandals exposed, okay, and all the shit that she did for Trump exposed. That's why she left. But it doesn't matter, because, you know, they could still recall her back to testify. You know, she can run, but like they say, you can't hide. So, let's see. And then, of course, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh, boy. She just can't shut her mouth. Okay? She's at the point now where everybody hates her. Democrats, Republicans alike. Nobody likes her now. Anyway, she makes an insane Trump assassination post as conspiracy erupts. Okay? Marjorie Taylor Greene has stirred up conspiracies about the assassination attempt on Donald Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania in 2024, saying, quote, "There are a lot of questions," unquote, about would-be assassin Thomas Matthew Crooks. The former GOP representative and Trump loyalist is the latest MAGA figure to accuse the administration of a quote-unquote cover-up. In a final report on the July 13, 2024 shooting published last year, the FBI concluded that Crooks acted alone when he shot at Trump, clipping the top of his ear and killing a supporter, Corey Comparator. FBI Director Kash Patel said the president was fully briefed and satisfied with the report, effectively drawing a line under the matter. But some questions about Crooks remain unanswered, prompting skeptics, including Republican representatives, to accuse the Bureau of quote-unquote stonewalling. Quote, "I'm not calling the Butler assassination a hoax," unquote, Greene said on X Sunday, quote, "but there are a lot of questions that deserve public answers. I'm asking, why won't Trump release the information about Matthew Crooks? Did he actually act alone? If not, who was behind him and who helped him? Why the cover-up?" Greene amplified a conspiracy theory Saturday posted by Tricia Hope, a delegate from Texas for the 2024 Republican National Convention. Hope shared her doubts about the official version of events and claimed Trump has, quote, "shown no interest in investigating what really happened," unquote. It's because he already knows what really happened. That's why he's not going to investigate it. Quote, unquote, "I agree," said Greene. Quote, "Corey Comparator's wife and daughters deserve to know why Corey, a true American patriot and hero, was murdered in Butler. Trump said repeatedly, 'I am your retribution. Where is the retribution?' unquote," Greene asked her followers. For more updates, stay tuned here on that particular issue. Yeah, so this is just another lame shot at Trump. Yeah, I think people pretty much know that that assassination attempt was bullshit, okay? We don't need to have Marjorie Taylor Greene paint that out for us, okay? We don't need her to reiterate what we've already known for 12 months already, okay? That fucking shot in the ear, his ear is perfectly normal, okay? You don't see a thing. I mean, everyone's been looking at that ear ever since that day. First he had a little bandage on the fucking thing, and now it's like completely like it's never been touched. Okay? There ain't no fucking plastic surgeon in the world that could fix it like that, okay? But unfortunately someone did die, you know, from the shit that was created by this. I don't know if that was intentional, if someone was meant to die at that thing. I don't know. Okay, it could be the fucking guy missed and hit somebody by accident, which, how the hell can you not hit somebody? Even a bullet's going to go through someone and hit somebody. He had all kinds of people behind him. Okay, all kinds of people behind him. You shoot him, okay, in any direction ahead of him, that bullet is going to go through and hit somebody else behind him. It will go through and hit somebody behind him, okay? And the fact that it nicked his ear, I mean, obviously someone was going to catch that bullet, okay? And so that the person shooting it clearly, you know, wasn't very good at a marksman. I mean, a professional sniper never would have missed Trump like that, okay? They'd have nailed his ass on the first shot. Trump wasn't moving like Kennedy was in a fucking automobile when he was shot. He was standing there at a podium. How can you miss? Okay? So maybe he wasn't intended to hit Trump. Maybe it was supposed to be just a shot heard and someone killed, and then they were supposed to get Trump the hell out of there. But instead, he shot too close, hit his ear, okay? Who knows? But it just seemed very convoluted. And then the way that he was sitting there raising his fist after the fact when they were carting him off, it's like he wanted the attention. He wanted people to look at him as some kind of a fucking martyr after that. You know, doesn't that reek of a sickness? I mean, I guess that's part of what a narcissist is. You know, it's all about me. Right? What bigger way to make a whole issue just about you than an attempted assassination? He loved it. Okay? That's what he wanted. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, okay, I mean, she's sitting here talking this shit. It's, you know, I think what she's doing is she's trying to find out what shit she can throw and what'll stick, okay, to bring her back. She wants to come back, okay, into politics. I think everybody knew that from the get-go. But she's out there trying to garner some fucking support, some people that'll support her. Well, if you support her, you're a fucking nut, because she's not going to do a goddamn thing for you. She's another narcissist. So you would be wise to run as fast as you can away from that woman, because she is crazy like a fox, okay? And she's almost as bad as Trump. I wouldn't trust her as far as I could piss, okay? That woman there is out of her goddamn mind, so just stay the hell away from her. Okay? That's my advice to America about her. Take it from me. I know what I'm talking about, but this woman here, she's doing this all for herself to try to make people listen to her. That's the last thing we want to do, is listen. Okay? Because what she's saying has already been said by Democrats and some Republicans even alike. Nothing new there, what she's saying. She's just saying this now because she knows the country's so pissed at Trump. That's the time to get people to come behind her. Is got all the people that are angry at Trump, get behind me. Okay? And what? Propel her into the White House? And then relive, the shit that we're, No. Oh, God. I mean, it's crazy. It's a circus. It really is a fucking circus. I don't know what the hell, what the hell we can do about people like her, Why does politics attract some of the fucking wackiest, dumbest people out there? Is it because they can't do it, they can't make life on their own in something honorable? Is it because they just don't have the courage to try things other than what they think would be the easy path, to lie to people, to use that gift of lying to push themselves into a political position? I mean, these people, by and large, that we're getting in our government now are just wannabes. Okay? They're not there to do the job they were elected for. They're there to soak up whatever fucking money they can get, make themselves rich, okay, and then hopefully when they get done, they could be some fucking lobbyist for a company. It's all about the money with these fucking people. Very few of these idiots are actually there for you and me to do the job of governing. They don't want to do it. They just don't want to fucking do it. Okay, so here's this other thing. Now, while Kash Patel is under the gun, as they say, he just come out here and said today that his agency has evidence that the 2020 election was stolen from Trump. Oh, really? Just like he's got evidence of Jeffrey Epstein, which we'll never see because they'll bury it. So What are they doing here? Are they making up shit again? Okay. The director, who's rumored to be facing dismissal, says he's got information that backs Trump's claim that Joe Biden's victory over him was achieved by widespread fraud. He's insisted that the evidence to finally prove Trump's long-standing claim that the 2020 election was rigged against him, and hinted he could make it available this week. Yeah, I'm not going to hold my breath on that. Patel, who was hit by allegations of alcoholism this weekend, sparking rumors he could soon be fired, told Maria Bartiromo on Fox News' Sunday Morning Futures, quote, "We have the information that backs President Trump's claim." Quote, "I can't get ahead of the Department of Justice and the President, but President Trump speaks truthfully when he says that," unquote. Quote, "Stay tuned this week," unquote, he urged Fox viewers. "You might see a thing or two." Trump claimed his defeat to Joe Biden in November was the result of a nationwide conspiracy to fix the outcome, inspiring a short-lived, quote-unquote, "stop the steal" movement that culminated in the attempted insurrection at the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021, in which his supporters stormed the legislative complex to try to prevent the formal certification of the results by Congress. Trump's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, has lost a string of court cases attempting to establish wrongdoing in the run-up to the riot, and its aftermath saw the president impeached for a historic second time and more than 1,500 people prosecuted for their involvement, only for their actions to be pardoned in 2025. The president has nevertheless continued to insist he was cheated out of a consecutive second term, and Patel's claim comes as Michigan officials push back on DOJ attempts to seize Detroit area ballots from the 2024 election, with the state's Attorney General Dana Nessel accusing the administration of seeking to sow fresh doubts about electoral integrity ahead of this year's midterms. The claims about Patel's fitness for office were published in The Atlantic late Friday in a profile that alleged she was paranoid about being fired and often drank to excess at clubs in Washington, D.C., and his home city of Las Vegas, violating FBI conduct standards and potentially leaving the nation's top law enforcement official vulnerable to coercion or exploitation. Patel attacked the report on X shortly after its publication, writing, quote, "Memo to the fake news, the only time I'll ever actually be concerned about the hit piece lies you write about me will be when you stop. Keep talking, it means I'm doing exactly what I should be doing, and no amount of bullshit you write will ever deter this FBI from making America safe again and taking down the criminals you love." During his interview with Bartiromo, the director said he would be filing a defamation lawsuit against The Atlantic on Monday, commenting, quote, "We are not going to take this lying down. You want to attack my character? Come at me, bring it on. I'll see you in court," unquote. Sarah Fitzpatrick, the journalist behind the report, has already said she stands, quote, "by every word of this reporting," unquote, telling MS Now, quote, "We have excellent attorneys," unquote. Speaking to CNN shortly after its publication on Friday, Fitzpatrick alleged that the White House insiders routinely discussed Patel's ousting, which would see him follow ex-Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and outgoing Attorney General Pam Bondi out the door. Quote, "People close to the director have said that he himself has expressed that he believes that he is about to be fired or that it is imminent, unquote," she told the network. Quote, "This is widely discussed, I think, within Washington behind closed doors. In fact, there are senior administration officials who are openly discussing who will be the next FBI director," unquote. Trump is believed to have been angered by the report on Patel's drinking, being a lifelong teetotaler himself after losing a brother to alcoholism. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told The Independent, quote, "Under President Trump and Director Patel's leadership at the FBI, crime across the country has plummeted to the lowest levels in more than 100 years, and many high-profile criminals have been put behind bars." Director Patel remains a critical player on the administration's law and order team," unquote. Yeah. Well, Okay, so he claims he's got evidence. Well, let's see it. Let's fucking see it. I mean, you've had all this time since the election, and all of a sudden now you have evidence. What? If you had it before, why didn't you use it to save Giuliani's ass from the fire? Okay? Why didn't you use it when Trump was when he was making his fucking argument that it was stolen? Why? Where is this evidence all of a sudden? Okay, would you just shit this out of your pants? Something like, I mean, come on. You think anybody's gonna believe now, after all these years, now all of a sudden, that, oh, yeah, he did? Come on. You can manufacture all kinds of shit in the fucking 6 years since. You know? Think about it. He's had plenty of time to find ways to doctor stuff. If he has anything at all, it's probably bullshit, or it's just something that really doesn't say anything. But he's gonna peddle it around as, oh, this is proof, okay? Okay, the attorneys are already lining up here to beat that shit down, okay? So, you know, let him try. Let him fucking try. You know, the problem is, okay, and I really think this is what it is. Trump was trying to cheat in that election to take it away from Biden. But his idea, or whatever they planned on doing, wasn't enough, because the wave of Democrats wanting Trump out of office was just too damn much. And even though Trump was trying to cheat to get a second term, it didn't work. It didn't fucking work. And that's what really pissed him off. It wasn't that he's going around saying, oh, Biden cheated. No, it was because he was trying to cheat, and it didn't work. There was no fucking way he could stop that avalanche of Democrat votes. No matter what he did, okay, there was nothing he could do to stop that. You know, and like I said, to this day, that's why he's always worried about voter fraud and stuff like that, because he knows now, he fucking knows that if you can't get your thumb into all the scales, you know, chances are, if the people hate you as much as they do now, he ain't gonna win no matter how he, you know, plays this out. Okay? He could try to cheat for the midterms for certain Republicans, but it ain't gonna be enough. It's not gonna be enough, because what, we got one seat between one side dominating the other here in the Senate and the houses. Okay, you're going to have to do an awful lot of cheating, and how are you going to pull that off without anybody noticing? Okay, somebody's going to notice, somebody's going to see, somebody's going to be a whistleblower. You know, the truth always seems to come out. It might take months, but it will come out. Well, it's been years. And if there was any cheating in that election, it would have come out by now. But now, all of a sudden, all those years later, Kash Patel says, oh, I got evidence. Well, what do you think why is he doing that? He's trying to kiss up to Trump, saying, well, if you keep me in here, I can vouch for you. I can save you and prove to the people of America that you are right. And that would validate him staying in his little cushy little job there, where he can drink himself to illness here. Okay, that's what he's doing this for. He's trying to play the role of a very competent director, but he's not. He's not. People are already saying the guy's paranoid. He knows he's doing a shitty job. He's worried he's going to get fired. He's drinking. He can't deal with it. He wants that job so fucking bad. You know, that he thinks Trump's going to fire him, because Trump is firing everybody else, right? Yeah. Anybody that deals with Trump always gets thrown under the bus. He fucking knows this, okay? So that's why he's doing this shit. He's in panic mode right now. He's saying all kinds of things, but he's not going to be able to back it up. This thing here is one of those things he's not going to be able to back up. There is no evidence, okay? But there's a whole lot of question marks around what Trump was doing during that, especially with the phone call to Georgia. Okay, there was a lot of things going on Trump's side in that campaign that reeks of fucking, tampering, a lot of stuff there, okay? So if there was anybody trying to cheat in that election, it was Trump, but he didn't do it big enough, okay? He didn't cheat well enough to be able to steal that from Biden. And that's why he's pissed. That's really what the truth is behind this. And eventually, that truth will come out, as people are allowed to investigate. Because while Trump's sitting in the White House, he's not going to allow anybody to go out and seek the truth about, what went on that, because they're going to stumble across the messes that he left behind. The guy's not very good at covering his tracks, okay? Especially when it's with the Epstein. Christ almighty, there's breadcrumbs galore, leading up to him. But God only knows why this country is not moving on a fucking pedophile, okay? Considering all the pedophiles that we've seen on TV, the teachers and stuff like that, and how we all want to castrate them all and stuff. With Trump, hardly a fucking word is said. Never get that. I'll just never understand that. Politics is more important to this country than a crime. Okay? Oh, I don't know. Let's go to a commercial break. We'll be back.
I'm Alex Curtis. I'm a lobsterman in Maine, and this is me.
I'm Roxy Sugar, and this is me.
I'm Eric Hopkins. I'm an artist, and this is me.
This is me.
Me.
This is me.
This is me.
At the end of the journey, the main thing is you, original.
Struggling with this, and of course that's terrible, unspeakable. Most of us cannot even put ourselves in her shoes, while at the same time, she's trying to make sure that Charlie's legacy doesn't die. And in that context, everybody is attacking her over everything, and they're lying about her, and it's one of the most disgraceful things that I've ever seen in public life. And I've seen a lot of crazy stuff in my life as a political leader, and I will tell you that the people who tell you, I was there with her, I was holding her hand, my wife was hugging her while we loaded Charlie's body on Air Force 2 and said the Lord's Prayer, the people telling you that Erica wasn't grieving her husband are full of shit, and we need to be...
Usha! Someone check on Usha. I swear to God, no one will defend someone harder than a man defending the woman he is screwing behind his wife's back. Because what do you mean this is the most disturbing thing you have ever seen in politics? The public reacting to Erica Kirk's obvious disturbing behavior. Her coming out on stage to freaking pyrotechnics as if she's Britney Spears at a concert days after her husband died. Or the recordings of her bragging about merch sales, or the over dramatics and the really, really bad acting. People questioning and talking about that is the most disgraceful thing you've ever seen in politics? Okay. But just for good measure, let's see how J.D. Vance reacted to something having to do with his wife. Back in February, Vance says Doge staffer who resigned after a report of racist postings should be brought back. And it is worth mentioning that one of those postings said, normalize Indian hate. Who's Indian again? Oh yeah, J.D. Vance's wife and children. Oh no mention of the word disgraceful there. As a matter of fact, you said kids shouldn't be punished for the silly things they say on social media. But yeah, you're right. People questioning Erica Kirk and the fact that she was celebrating how many hats they sold at her husband's memorial. Yeah, totally disturbing. Give me a break. Whatever. Not my husband, not my problem. It's really hard for me not to feel sorry for Usha. Can you imagine how it must feel that your husband's pecking order is Erica Kirk, Ashley Furniture, and then you? And I would make fun of the fact that JD gave this passionate speech about Erica to a room filled with nobody, right? But we all know that a room filled with empty chairs is JD Vance's favorite place to be. Anyways, bye!
Pack the fairgrounds trucks in every lane. Now it's empty folding chairs and we know who to blame. More booze than cheers every time he speaks. Got roasted by my grandma with a meme last week. We'd rollin' loud, red hats on tight. Now we keep 'em in the glove box out of sight. We used to feel like rebels, loud and sure. Now the whole thing just feels insecure. We bought every word, every promise, every roar. Now we're looking at each other like, what we do that for? It ain't fun being MAGA no more. Feels like we're the punchline and nothing more. Gas is through the roof, milk is higher at the store. We were told just wait, we're still waiting for more. It ain't pride, it ain't power, it's a drag, it's a chore. Even diehards ain't so diehard anymore. We were loud, we were certain, we came back for more. Now it ain't fun being MAGA no more. The man's on stage talking wild eyes drifting away. Picks a fight with the Pope like it's just another day. Throws a jab at Jesus, calls it strategy. Turns a Sunday sermon into blasphemy. JD gives us the creeps every time he speaks. We'd all sleep better if he just resigned next week. Tucker switched lanes, Candace too. Even Fox News changed tone. Now what do we do? We used to quote the talking points like gospel truth. Now we're Googling headlines just to see the proof. It ain't fun being MAGA no more. Feels like cheering for a team that can't score. Prices up, patience down to the floor. Every promise sounds like one we've heard before. It ain't bold, it ain't brave, it's a mess, it's a war. Half the crowd's just heading for the door. We were loud, we were certain, we were right to the core. Now it ain't fun being MAGA no more. Oh, lost my job, lost my plan, lost my care. But hey, we own the live, so I guess that's fair. Kid got measles, didn't see that one coming. Turns out Facebook threads don't count for nothing. ICE took our landscaper, said he can't stay. Turns out he was born right here in LA. Still no Epstein list, still nothing to enthrall. I guess release soon meant never at all. The truth social posts that are clearly not true. Every week there's another one we can't defend or excuse. The vibes went bad, yeah, the shine wore thin, and the group chats died when the doubt crept in. Missed our flight, stuck in TSA all day. Watched our Disney vacation just taxi away. We'd laugh it off, but it don't feel right. Kinda hard to cheer when you're losing the fight. It ain't fun being MAGA no more. Feels like knocking on a closed and bolted door. We believed every chant, every line, every roar. Now we're not so sure what we believed it for. It ain't loud, it ain't proud, it's a sigh, it's a chore. Can't bring ourselves to wear the red hats anymore. Once we were loud, we were yelling, lock up a few more. And now it ain't fun being MAGA no more. No, it ain't fun being MAGA no more. Hey!
Working at the White House, getting hungry for my Mickey D's. Negotiations, hard work. I need that bacon double cheese. Hey Marco, can you order? You're my tiny Mephistopheles. My doctor just shakes his head. It contributes to my heart disease. Call the DoorDash granny. Pay the DoorDash fees. Call the DoorDash granny. And gratuities are tax-free. By the time they got here, the French fries were cold as ice. I didn't want to tip her, but that granny sure seemed nice. She said she was struggling as I loudly sipped my shake. I said, if you can't afford the bread, then why don't you eat the cake? Call the DoorDash granny. Pay the DoorDash fees. Call the DoorDash granny. And gratuities are tax-free. Her husband has cancer and she can't afford health care. Can't see why that's my fault if Mother Hubbard's cupboard is bare. I can solve her problems with my brilliant new techniques. I'll roll my concept out. You can take a peek in just about 2 more weeks. Call the DoorDash granny. Pay the DoorDash fees. Call the DoorDash granny. And gratuities are tax-free. Turns out old Granny was a frequent Republican prop. She's a good distraction from my AI Jesus slop. Brought her over to D.C., flew her in from Arkansas. Enjoy your time away from your husband, Uber Eats grandpa. Call the DoorDash granny. Pay the DoorDash fees. Call the DoorDash granny. And gratuities are tax-free. I had her beside me when I was questioned by the press. When I get in trouble, I bring around somebody with breasts. She said, I'm here for taxes. I don't care about trans kids. I asked her if she voted for me, and she wouldn't admit she did. Call the DoorDash granny. Pay the DoorDash fees. Call the DoorDash granny. And gratuities are tax-free.
DoorDash Girl, the sneaky spy who brings the fries.
She delivers, she discovers, snap and share it all.
Press the crash out button and... I'm the victim! DoorDash Girl, the villain next door.
Be a part of the entertainment value of a lifetime.
I loved it.
It was the best performance I've seen in a lifetime.
I loved the show. I liked it very much. He's a very entertaining man. It's well worth the money.
Now appearing in Charlottetown, coming to Halifax November 6th to the 18th, and St. John November 20th through the 26th.
Okay, welcome back. All right, so this other article here, I don't know how many people actually knew about this, okay? It's not really, unless you look at a lot of videos online, I don't think you would know this happened, but the Israel Defense Force confirmed a viral photo of a soldier smashing a Jesus statue is real after swift backlash. So they confirmed that it really is real here. And let me see here. See, there's a soldier, and he's putting a hammer down on a statue of Jesus on the cross, I guess. They confirmed the authenticity of a viral image showing one of their soldiers smashing the face of a Jesus statue with a sledgehammer in southern Lebanon, vowing to take, quote, appropriate measures, unquote, against that soldier and to help locals repair the damage. The image, which surfaced on Sunday, appeared to show the uniformed soldier striking the fallen statue's head in what local reports say is the Maronite Christian village of Debel near the Israel border, where Israel is waging a campaign against Hezbollah. It spread rapidly online and prompted backlash from Christian communities in the region, as well as prominent conservatives in the United States, while the IDF said it was investigating. The initial image drew rebuke from prominent conservatives in media and politics, including from Alex Bruesewitz, an advisor to President Trump. And he wrote, the IDF has confirmed that this image is authentic. This is disgraceful. I urge the IDF to take swift action to hold him accountable. The hatred and wickedness being directed at Christians must stop. Right-wing critics of the Trump administration, recently attacked by the president for speaking against his conflict with Iran, also weighed in to slam the image, including ex-Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene and commentator Candace Owens. Marjorie wrote, quote, our greatest ally, unquote, that takes billions of our tax dollars and weapons every year. Candace wrote, the IDF has confirmed this is real, which commentators will reliably lecture us about Judeo-Christian values on Monday. In a statement issued late Sunday, however, the military confirmed that the picture was authentic and the incident did take place. The IDF views the incident with great severity and emphasized that the soldiers' conduct is wholly inconsistent with the values expected of its troops. You know, I don't believe any of that. I think they're just going to bury it, and they'll just give the guy, you know, like, don't take pictures when you're doing shit like that so they don't leak out. I don't think there's anything going to happen to this guy, because how do we know who it is? How do we fucking know? I mean, it's not something the United States can say, you need to do this to this guy. It's one of their own. It's one of their fucking soldiers. So they're just going to, you know, chastise him for having a picture taken, but they're not going to do anything to him. Christ. We know what it is. It's, you know, it's hatred of religion. That's a common fucking thing in this world. And that's one of the reasons why Israel is fighting right now with Christ everybody else now. They want to wipe out Hezbollah and Iran and everybody else. It's all over religious issues. They have no tolerance for that, okay? So, I feel like this is just a bunch of hyperbole here from people over there fighting in the Israel Defense Force. You know, they're just trying to cover this guy's ass. You know, if they gave a shit, you know, at all about, you know, how that would reflect. You know, people today really don't have a whole lot of common sense when it comes to, you know, videos and taking pictures. People bury themselves all the time with evidence at every crime that happens. Why do they do this? You know, do they think that people will just keep their mouth shut if they see something like that and not say anything? Bullshit. You know, if somebody posts a murder as it happens you know, thinking I'll get likes. Yeah, you're going to get likes. You're also going to get a like on the fucking door from the police, because people will bury you. I mean, why did, after all these years of internet and phones and pictures and videos and stuff, people are still making that fucking mistake of doing that kind of shit and thinking they'll get away with it. I just don't understand people, you know, anymore. I really don't. I think, you know, this world has gone completely batshit crazy, you know, and, you know, if there's any time, you know, where humanity's fate is sealed, I think it is now, because without any fucking guidance, without people exercising the better part of valor, or exercising the basics, you know, of morality, the world is going to spin right off its axis. It just will. Okay? It's not like, oh, well, it's their fault. No, it's all our faults. Every goddamn one of us. Because it wouldn't happen if we weren't all in some way engaged in the same bullshit. Okay? I mean, come on. It's crazy that this stuff happens and people just, you know, shrug it off like, oh, it's just people that are doing stupid things and stuff. It's like, no, it's a sign of a much larger problem that's been going on for decades now. Okay? And nobody seems to know how to put their foot down and stop it. Okay? Or maybe they just don't want to. I don't know. The sensationalism of it is probably too addictive for some. Iran says the death toll in the war with the United States and Israel has risen to 3,460. I would say it's probably higher than 3,000. That number sounds kind of low, considering how much ordnance has already been used in this fight. I mean, what are they hitting? Air? I mean, we're blowing up dirt. Come on. There's probably casualties that are 3 times that amount. You know, so the death toll is obviously low. I'm not even sure we can really trust our own government to tell us how many Americans have died already over there. I really don't believe we can actually expect them to admit it, because then, you know, because when people start hearing the number of the body count going up, the approval for the war slowly fades. Okay? Nobody wants it. I mean, we didn't at first, but when we find out that there are hundreds, maybe thousands that have already died over there, okay, there's going to be an outcry. You know, Trump doesn't want that either. But, you know, he's good at getting what he doesn't want, if you noticed. And of course, like I said in the last video, Iran has no plans for a second round of talks with the United States. Foreign Ministry spokesperson says they don't like Trump. They know Trump is a shifty, crooked bastard. They don't want to deal with him. They, you know, it's like, you know, we'll send Cookie Monster out there to talk with you about fucking, you know, a ceasefire or peace talk. Well, I probably would trust Cookie Monster over Trump. But that's how they look at Trump. He's a buffoon, okay? He's got nothing to offer them. He doesn't want to hear from them. They don't want to hear from him. They don't want to deal with him. What they're focused on is Israel, okay? Unless Netanyahu stops this thing, it's never going to stop. Trump can't even bully Netanyahu, okay? He's got Netanyahu's got Trump on some strings. Trump's a marionette for him, okay? So Iran knows Trump has no clout in this matter, okay? All he's doing is he's being a yes ma'am to Netanyahu, and Netanyahu is the one they want to talk to, okay? If Netanyahu says he wants to talk peace, then they'll listen to him. Trump, I mean, look at how well the talks with Putin to stop the fighting in Ukraine and Russia worked out. Okay? It's still going on. He can't do anything with that. And he's not going to be able to do anything to stop this. This was something that he jumped into wholeheartedly with our military, and now we're in it for the whole long haul, it would seem. Okay? Because I don't hear anybody talking about pulling out. Okay? All I'm hearing about is Trump trying to make a peace talk or a ceasefire or whatever, but Iran's not interested. And I knew they weren't going to be. Not with him. Maybe with a different president, they might listen, but not with him. They know what he is, okay? Trump's an idiot. And they don't want to deal with him. So oil prices went up when Iran said, no, we're not talking to you about fucking peace, okay? Naturally. That's why the gas prices are going to stay high, people. As long as this fight goes on between Israel and Iran, this is going to stay going on and on and on, okay? So forget it. If you think Trump's going to bring the oil price down, don't even think about it, because it's not going to happen. And I got something more to say about that particular angle here. I was reading this article here about where is the Venezuelan oil money, okay? You'll find this article pretty interesting here, because it really shows exactly what's more important here for Trump. President Donald Trump's administration will keep the money generated from the sale of Venezuelan oil across multiple bank accounts, the largest of which is located in Qatar, according to a report from the Independent UK. Quote, revenue from the oil sales is currently being held in bank accounts controlled by the U.S. government, according to a senior administration official. The main account, according to a second senior administration official, is located in Qatar. That came from Semaphore. There is no basis in law for a president to set up an offshore account that he controls so that he could sell assets seized by the American military, said Senator Elizabeth Warren, the party's top banking committee member. That is precisely a move that a corrupt politician would be attracted to. After ousting Nicolas Maduro, the administration seized millions of barrels of oil and created offshore accounts to enrich President Trump and his cronies. It is a brazen act of fraud and corruption. During a recent House Financial Services Committee hearing, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent testified under questioning from Representative Sean Casten that he was unaware which accounts Treasury was using to manage the funds from Venezuelan oil sales, despite President Trump's January 9th executive order, explicitly stating that Treasury is to hold these assets in custody and facilitate disbursements or transfers. And they got a video posted of that. In January, the U.S. completed the first sale of Venezuelan oil valued at $500 million. Today, Venezuelan oil sales top $1 billion. Where exactly is that money? On January the 8th, 2026, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent appeared at the Economic Club of Minnesota, where he explained that his department, quote, will oversee the accounts, unquote, and then, quote, at the president's direction and Secretary Rubio's direction, be in charge of the disbursement that goes back into Venezuela, unquote. Here's the scheme. Chevron, the only U.S. oil major operating in Venezuela, is producing about 250,000 to 260,000 barrels per day in Venezuela. That's roughly 25% of Venezuela's total output. Chevron pays Venezuelan royalties and taxes. Venezuela gets royalties and taxes paid in oil, not cash. The remaining oil after royalties and taxes is Chevron's share. The royalties and taxes paid in oil to Venezuela's state-owned oil company, Petroles de Venezuela, S.A., is Venezuela's share, now controlled by the United States government. Chevron stream, they take the profits. Chevron takes its share of oil, refines it, and sells it in the U.S., keeping the proceeds. None of this goes to the U.S. government. Venezuela's stream paid into a U.S.-controlled account. Venezuelan royalties and taxes are paid in oil. That oil is also sold. The state-owned Petroles de Venezuela S.A. sells this oil, but because of sanctions, buyers can't wire money to PDVSA. Instead, buyers pay into a restricted escrow-style account supposedly authorized and controlled by the U.S. Department of the Treasury. In February, Energy Secretary Chris Wright said the U.S. shares of Venezuelan oil sales will no longer go to Qatar. quote, an account was set up in Qatar, controlled by the U.S. government the whole time, to land that money in and then send the money from there to Venezuela, unquote. Energy Secretary Chris Wright told NBC News on Thursday. Quote, now we have an account at the U.S. Treasury. The money won't go to Qatar anymore, unquote, the Energy Secretary said. It's really too bad that Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent will get back to you on that. Trump really wants that money. He claimed from the beginning of the Maduro kidnapping that Venezuela stole our energy back in the 70s, and he wants it back. Like they stole it from him, okay? Quote, you remember they took all of our energy rights. They took all of our oil from that not long ago, and we want it back, unquote, Trump told reporters at Joint Base Andrews. Quote, but they took it, they illegally took it, unquote. Quote, they took it away because we had a president that maybe wasn't watching, but they're not going to do that. We want it back, unquote. He continued later. Quote, they took our oil rights. We had a lot of oil there. As you know, they threw our companies out and we want it back, unquote. So much for Tren de Argras. U.S. Congressman Sean Casten, who sits on the House Financial Services Committee, has been at the center of a political and legal dispute over how the Trump administration handled hundreds of millions of dollars in Venezuelan oil proceeds. In March of 2026, Casten co-introduced the Venezuela Oil Proceeds Transparency Act, directing the Nonpartisan Government Accountability Office, GAO, to audit how these funds were managed, controlled, and spent. The Venezuelan Oil Proceeds Transparency Act will provide answers to the American people and hold oil executives and President Trump accountable for their unprecedented self-dealing. Okay, you know what my theory is about this, okay, what's going on? Because Trump is such an idiot. I think, and I'm just theorizing here, this money going into an account is going not to the United States so much as it's going into the pockets of Putin, okay, so he can continue to fight his war with Ukraine. I still think Putin has, you know, some kind of influence over him, okay? And this thing with Venezuela, when it happened right on the heels of the shit that was spiking more over in Ukraine, okay? And Trump trying to find some way to help out Putin in some fucking fashion, okay? And I think this was one of those ways. Now, I might be completely wrong, okay? But I think that him selling this oil and then hiding the money in various accounts that don't go into the actual United States, okay, but into some account somewhere, okay, is very suspicious, okay? Somebody's going to get the money. I don't know if, you know, if it's all going to end up in Trump's pocket. I mean, he's sitting there saying, oh, well, they stole from the United States. Well, if it's true, then that should go back into the United States, not into these little secret accounts all over the goddamn globe here, okay? Why is he doing that? Okay? Obviously, it's not on the up and up. Okay? We can't ever trust that he's doing anything for the greater good here. No, the greater good has to be just him. Him, and alone him, okay? That's why this is happening, okay? And it just reinforces what I was saying last year about this thing with Venezuela. This had absolutely nothing to do with criminals, you know, bringing drugs into this country. This was all about Venezuelan oil. That's what it was. Everybody knew this, okay? And I still say that he didn't blow up as many people on the ocean as he claimed he did, okay? You know, it could have been the same fucking one incident repeated over and over again, just in different angles, to make people think that, oh yeah, we're stopping crime, we're stopping drug dealers, okay, drug cartels from getting into this country. Yeah, right. Okay. Now that was what we were supposed to see, but that's not what was going on. Okay. And I tell you, the people who would know the truth of that is the military. The people who were there and off the coast of Venezuela will tell you, you know, themselves, if they want to be honest about it, how many they actually did blow out of the water and what they were really doing there. because I think you're going to find it was pretty quiet off that coast, okay? I don't think a whole lot went on there because it had absolutely nothing to do with you know, protecting the United States. It's all about fucking grabbing that country's oil, okay? And all they had to do was get rid of Maduro, who was probably the only thing that would have stood between him and getting that oil. And I'm not really sure how that be, because I don't think Venezuela really had, you know, that kind of a ability to be able to stop Trump, even if they left Maduro in there. I'm not sure why he went after him and you know, and his wife. I don't know. It just seems like there's something personal there with that, why he went in there, okay? So anyway, I don't know. It's just there's a whole lot of question marks about everything around that. And then of course this come out, you know, about this money. Just where is it? You know, it's here, it's there, but it's not where it's supposed to be, where Trump said it was gonna be. Okay, so it looks like the president is profiteering off an invasion that wasn't really sanctioned by Congress. I mean, come on. I mean, how many more scandals do we need to have before people start to see Trump for what he is? Okay? Jesus Christ. I mean, this guy has done everything wrong imaginable. Okay? And still, you know, we seem to get very little reaction from... I mean, it makes everybody look guilty. Democrats, too. If the Democrats don't say anything, they look guilty. If they sit there and they try to... You know, they pretend, oh, we're gonna file, you know, articles of impeachment, or we're gonna try to remove him from office, the 25th Amendment, and we don't see any big real movement towards that, okay, then what are we supposed to think? They're just as, it seems like they're putting on a show. I mean, if they really thought they had any clout over Trump, why did they wait so long now to do something about it? They could have gone after him last year for a lot of different things. Okay, certainly with the Epstein thing, a lot of evidence there. So much of it, Pam Bondi spent all of her fucking time trying to redact everything that was there. I mean, Christ. So you know there's a ton of it. But no, they didn't want to fucking do anything with that. So I feel like there's so much that's happening. I mean, the White House is just a claptrap of goddamn scum and villainy. You know, as they say, you know, Obi-Wan says in Star Wars. And I don't feel comfortable with a government like that. And I don't think you do either. But nobody really wants to talk about it or really think about it because it's too depressing. And if you're feeling that it's very depressing, then that explains why you hate Trump so much now. And if you hate Trump right now, the only way you're going to change that is if you get behind any movement out there to have him removed from office. Now, I realize the alternative to him being gone isn't very appealing to most, even to MAGA. But what choice do we have? Okay? He's not liked around the world. He's not liked internationally. His credibility is shot to pieces, okay? The rest of the world is pretty much ready to give up on us. I mean, even NATO right now is talking about maybe dumping the United States off of its charter. I mean, a lot of things are happening because they're very upset with how this country has evolved into this, okay? This is not the America that once stood toe-to-toe with the rest of the world to fight tyranny, you know, across the ocean. That America's dead. As far as I'm concerned, that era's dead. The people that did that fight, we don't have people like that right now. What we got are just yes men, okay? You know, lapdogs for a criminal, because the military won't fucking stand up against Trump. They're perfectly fine with a criminal telling them what to do, okay? And if they had any fucking commitment to their oath of office, every fucking soldier, every officer would tell Trump to go fuck himself before sending a single troop to another country to do what they did in Venezuela, okay, just for oil. What reason does the military have to do that for them? I mean, what are they supposed to be, the hands and fingers of the president? No, they're supposed to be there to protect us. Venezuela was not a fucking threat to us. And oil that he claims was stolen, well, you know, that's the fault of the companies that were doing this. This wasn't no fucking military thing, okay? That's companies, you know, fucking each other over. But Trump thinks that, oh, we're going to fix that with the military. Well, that has nothing to do with the military. That's the corporations' fault for letting that happen. Didn't involve anything to do with the government here. And you know, when he makes it seem like that Venezuela attacked us or whatever, no, it didn't happen like that. Very few people even realize that happened, okay? Because it was all done in the big business world, all right? But, like I said, this is what we have going on. This is the kind of president or the kind of leader, and that word doesn't fit him either, so I don't know what to go. This is the kind of person we got running the country, and he ain't running it. He's throwing monkey wrenches into every gearbox, okay? Finding ways to fucking bolster his standing, you know, financially, with people with clout, and I don't know why. Just a couple days ago, he blew his top, and somebody had to pull him off, you know, escort him out of a room because he was going crazy. His mind is going. I don't understand why, you know, the MAGA people who were so critical of Biden aren't saying anything now about their beloved leader, but it's because of loyalty. You know, it's that sick, cultist loyalty that keeps these people glued to his ass, okay? So he can do no wrong, no matter how wrong he is, okay? And they're going to continue to support him right to their death, okay? And we're just going to have to let them do that. I mean, like I said, you know, some people, they have to learn everything the hard way, and that's, MAGA is going to learn some of the hardest lessons imaginable as they continue to stroke Trump's ego, okay? But there's fewer and fewer and fewer people as time goes on here that are going to be willing to do that, and eventually it's going to reach critical mass, and there won't be anything Trump can do except something drastic, something that nobody's going to like, and which would finally kill him as, and I'm saying that figuratively, kill him as a president, which would just destroy his fucking administration. So this can only go one way, and that's in the toilet. It's gone on too long. There's no way to pull out of this. Trump has no credibility. He could do good things from here on out, and no one's ever going to fucking care because they want him gone. He broke every promise that he made to MAGA, to the country. He tarnished a woman's good name by accusing her of things that he's now doing. Okay? You have to be pretty cut off from the world not to realize any of these things. And there's a lot of people out there that they don't even realize a lot of this stuff is going on because they don't want to hear it. You know, they won't watch the news. They just, oh, I ain't going to look at that. You know, because then it makes them look like the fool. You know, that they feel like, oh my God, why didn't I see that he was going to... We tried to tell you, but you didn't want to hear it. You thought Democrats were just trying to poison the water, as it were. No, we were trying to tell you, this guy is trash. No, you didn't want to hear it. You didn't want to believe it. Well, the proof is in the pudding now, isn't it? And you can't deny it. So that's where we are. So anyway, that's it for today. So I hope everybody has a great rest of the week. So subscribe, comment, and share. Keep your ears open for health issues out there. It's the season, you know, people catching colds and stuff. And, you know, try to help each other out. You know, a lot of people out there, as times get worse, there's going to be a lot of need out there for people. They need help. So try to be helpful to people, and even in a small way, try to do something so that way people don't lose hope and faith in what our country's supposed to be. That, you know, we Americans can set the example, our politicians can't. You know, so I'll talk to you later, everybody. So take care.